Billy Napier needs to make radical changes during this bye week. I think it's the only way he can try to get something going from a momentum standpoint offensively. I would give up the play calling. I don't know that he will. This seems like a good opportunity to hand it off. We'll see if he does it. I also think you've got to go to Tramell Jones. I've heard Gator fans say this week, and I believe, Frank, I think you said it when we were watching the game the other night. If they had Graham Mertz this season, they would be potentially undefeated.
They certainly would have won. They certainly would have won the first two. They certainly would have beat USF, and they would have been right. They were right there with Miami and LSU with miserable quarterback play.
And Graham Mertz is
be undefeated.
He's such a timing player. And Tramell Jones, I get it. It was one game against Long Island, but he looks like he plays with the right timing in the offense. And DJ Lagway just does not have that. He's obviously in a boot. Who knows how healthy he really is. But you might have a guy in Tramell Jones that is ready to get out there and play against an elite defense in Texas and at least keep you on schedule because he understands the timing and the concepts of the offense. So if I was Billy Napier, I would give up play calling. I don't think he's going to do that. This is the perfect opportunity. But I would move to the quarterback that you have that probably is a little bit more like Graham Mertz, who somehow completed 70% of his passes in this elementary offense.
I agree with everything you said. Unfortunately, I don't think any of it's going to happen, but you're exactly right. The point you're making about Tramell and Mertz is a very good one. Whether it's timing, whether it's footwork, whether they feel more quarterback-ish, don't they? Lagway looks like a very good football player back there playing quarterback. Graham Mertz looks like he's in the NFL. I mean, he's on a team. He's on the Texans. He looks like a quarterback. Tramell Jones, that little bit we saw him, he looked like a quarterback. I tell you that Shane Matthews, who's one of my really good friends, and he sees every play. He's a color commentator on the network. He's a two-time SEC Player of the Year. He said Tramell Jones looks as natural throwing the football, dropping back, playing quarterback as anybody he's seen in a long time. And that was Shane's text to me the night he came in and played. And so I agree with everything you said. But here's the reality. The incredible stubbornness that is going to get him fired. We know he's going to get fired. The stubbornness that will get Billy Napier fired is the same stubbornness that will keep him from giving anybody else play calling duties. It will keep him from pulling DJ Lagway. Now, maybe the fact that Lagway's in a boot, I saw a report that it's nothing. He just got stepped on. He's fine. But you don't see guys normally on a boot when they get stepped on. Now, I know they don't play for a couple of weeks. Maybe they just want to stabilize it. Well, that's a question tomorrow. We will ask our friend Kevin Kaplan. And maybe that's a precursor to the way Billy can explain to his team and the Lagways and everybody why he's going to play the other guy some. But I think his stubbornness. I said this on a program yesterday. I said it on All Things Gators with Dan Hicken. I was on a show with Chuck Oliver, who does Southern Sports Tonight. I was on with Chuck today, and he asked me that question, and I said, "Listen, it's hard. I have contradicting opinions of Billy Napier, the person. Clearly, by all accounts, he's a very good guy. Nobody wants to hear that, Frank, you're always talking about someone good guy. I don't care. Well, whether you care or not, it's my opinion. And he's clearly a good person. He's clearly cleaned up the locker room. He's clearly built the culture. He's clearly really well liked in the building. He's clearly respectful of other sports and other players. And so those are such good personality characteristics. He clearly is all that, and that's a great guy to have is leading your football program that is that much good about him. But I'll also tell you this, he's stubborn as hell. There's an arrogance about the play calling, and there's a selfishness that he won't let anybody else do it. And I think that selfishness and that arrogance and that stubbornness is why he's not going to do what you just recommended, because everything you recommended would be good, and it's why he's going to get fired. That's my opinion. I think that's why a good man, you can be a good man and still be stubborn and arrogant and selfish at times. Well, Frank, that's not a good man. No, you could be. I think he's a good person, but he's stubborn, he's arrogant, he's selfish, and that will get him fired, which is why he will not do the things you just suggested, all of which were very good ideas.
And it's hilarious to hear the old ball coach talk about it, because Spurrier now is, this isn't just this week. He's talked about Napier, for a couple years now when he has struggled, and he's like, just change something.
Correct.
Just change something so that it feels different for the players. Just something.
Right.
But you got to change something just to create the belief in your locker room that this might work.
And here's the problem. Great point again. Here's the problem. Last year they had the off week. Scott Strickland supported him, which I agree with. It was the right thing to do at the time. He didn't change anything, at least that we could tell. I mean, certainly nothing visible, and won. So why, in his mind, this off week's going to be just like last year's. We took the off. We weren't doing very well. I was on the hot seat. We had the off week. We relaxed. We got a lot of reps. Then we won all the games. So that's what he's telling everybody. That's what he thinks it's going to happen. Well, it wasn't Texas and Texas A&M and Georgia and A&M on the road and Ole Miss on the road and Tennessee and FSU. That's not who was it. It wasn't that. It was LSU at home, who was asleep at the wheel. It was Ole Miss at home, who was good but not great,
and always chokes late in the season.
Correct. And it was a really bad FSU team and a Tulane team that had no players. That's who it was. Okay, but anyway, it is what it is. The hardest thing, I was telling someone this today, it's now the waiting game. You now know that he's probably fired. You now know that it's probably going to happen during the year. You now know that Kiffin and whoever else's name is going to be in it, but you got to wait it all out. It's now that you know the inevitable, you're just waiting for the shoe to drop. He's not going to beat Texas and at A&M and Georgia and Ole Miss and Tennessee and FSU. He's not. That doesn't mean he won't win one or two of them. He won't. They won't surprise someone. Look, Miami's really good. They're second in the nation, and that was a 13-7 game in the fourth quarter. The defense will give them a chance to be competitive in all of those games, and Vernell Brown might run back a punt, or the other team may drop a punt, or Lagway might, because he certainly has big play capability from time to time. He may hit a long play. They may win a game, or they may win one you're not supposed to win. I wouldn't shock me, but it's not going to be. He's getting fired, and that's the hardest part, is waiting out the inevitable, which is where they are.
Yo, it's your main Manny T, and I want to personally thank you for watching Gators 1010XL channel. And before you click over, make sure you like and subscribe and check out the other team-specific channels on 1010XL's YouTube. Come on, somebody.